Infographics, charts, tables, maps, diagrams, graphs, images. Infographics are informational graphics, graphics that provide a visual reference for the terms and/or concepts or data explained in a passage. They are designed to make it easy for the reader to understand data. They help an author achieve his or her purpose most effectively. They also make the data look cool. So if you're looking at this Venn diagram of superhero comic troops, you'll see that there's underwear on the outside, that's the name of the blue bubble, tragically dead parents, the name of the pink bubble, and cape, the name of the yellow bubble. And then you can see where there's overlap with different superheroes. For instance, this says Storm from the X-Men, tragically dead parents, wears a cape. So we know that that's something that she has in common with these other superheroes listed in the bubble. And then you can do that, you can see which ones, like Superman, for instance, he wears his underwear on the outside, he wears a cape, and he has tragically dead parents. So that he has all three of these things. And you can see Batman, Robin, those are other examples of superheroes that share all three of these things. So instead of reading a lot of information about the superheroes or about their differences or their similarities, the Venn diagram does it really quickly and easily and simply for us, and it helps the author achieve his purpose or her purpose much more effectively. Take a minute to Google image search infographics to find out more about these things. What type of infographic did you find? What makes a good infographic? Data, design, shareability, story? Let's look at some examples. Chart, table, maps, diagram, graphs, images. Let's talk skill building. Can you guess the least favorite musician according to Pennsylvanians? It's Nickelback. Justin Bieber is the most hated musician in the United States, followed closely by Nickelback. The Canadian acts have certainly earned their fair shares of vitriol from the press and the public. So while it's not surprising that the two are hated, it is striking how considerably uniform the distaste is. With a few exceptions, the survey data shows Nickelback is most disliked in the West and Midwest, while the anti-Biebers reside along the coast and in the South. So here we have an infographic of every state's least favorite musician. And this goes nicely with the results of the study that show where a specific artist is hated. You can see the grouping much better. So it helps to clarify the information in the graphic, and so we don't have to draw a mental picture necessarily on our own. We get the help with the infographic. So what effect does this infographic have on the information provided? Let's do some more examples. Look at the bar graph. Can you tell what the bar graph measures? Kilowatts used by appliances, hours appliance used per day, total electricity per year, hours appliance used monthly. It's hours appliance used per day, and you can tell that from the title here on the vertical axis. Average hours used per day. What do the numbers in the vertical axis of this graph represent? Hours in a day, days of the week, types of appliances, amount of electricity used. Again, look at the vertical axis. The title says that it's the average hours used per day. Therefore, we know that these numbers from 0 to 24 is a list of the numbers in a day. Now read what's on the horizontal axis, the line that runs along the bottom of the graph from left to right. It is labeled appliance. Each appliance in the graph has 2 bars. What is measured by the blue bar? Amount of electricity used, weekday hours of use, number of appliances used, weekend hours of use. It's weekday hours of use. So some infographics are going to come with a key or a legend that will help you to better understand the information in the infographic. In this case, we know that the colors are represented by blue, weekday, and orange, weekend. So the answer is weekday, hours of use, when we're looking at the blue bar. Which appliance has the most total usage? Fridge, heater, lights, or television? It's the fridge. So you're looking at total usage between weekend and weekday, and of course this one's off the charts. So we know that adding them up is going to be more than any other addition that you do here with any of the other appliances because it's running 24/7. On average, how many hours is the computer used on a weekday? 2. Again, look at the key and it tells you that a weekday is blue and a weekend is orange. So the question is asking, on average, how many hours is the computer used? So we go down to the appliance on the horizontal axis. We find computer. We know we're looking for a weekday, which is blue. So we would follow that up to this line, follow it over to the vertical axis, average hours used per day, and you can see that it's 2. Which appliances are used for an average of 5 hours a day, more on weekends than on weekdays? The answer is television and other. Again, you can tell by looking at the bars for TV and the bars for other, and then you just simply follow the bar line over to the amount of hours used per day that's listed here on the vertical axis. Tina's monthly living expenses are represented in this pie chart. We have a key that shows the color coding for each percentage. So Tina spends the largest portion of her income on rent. Tina's monthly living expenses. She spends the least amount of money every month on bus fare. Time spent on daily activities. So again, we're looking at a very similar pie chart, again with a key for the colors. And now we can answer this question. Tina spends how much of her day at work? Tina spends 8 hours of her day at work, or 33% of her time. Tina has the least amount of time in her day for leisure. And you know that again by looking at the smallest percentage, or since this is broken down by hours here, we could look over here and get the same information right out of the key. But if you're looking at the pie chart, all you need is the lowest percentage, which would be 2%. Either way, you wind up with the answer of leisure. Let's review. Infographics. Make it easier for the reader to understand information. Help an author achieve his or her purpose most effectively. Make a text more interesting and can be found in different types of text. It's quiz time. Head back to class.